Well, it's been a while since I dropped a review before a game actually released in the West. Finally, I could take advantage of living in Japan. Anyway, we're going to cover the re-release of GrimGrimoire OnceMore on the Nintendo Switch. Let's check it out. So, GrimGrimoire OnceMore is a re-release remaster of a 2007 real-time strategy game developed by Vanillaware. Now, if you follow the channel, or just gaming in general, you're likely familiar with the company with games like 13 Sentinels or Odin Sphere. As this is 2007 Vanillaware, expect more of the latter. Colorful, vibrant imagery, a lighthearted cast of characters in a very deep situation. I mean, if you enjoyed Vanillaware's older titles, then this one will fit very nicely. The story itself can be best described as Harry Potter meets Groundhog Day with a touch of Command & Conquer. You follow the story of Lillian Blan, a young witch in training at a magic academy plagued by a dark lord looking to get the Philosopher's Stone. Due to some shenanigans, Lilith is stuck in a 5-day loop that she must navigate to come out on top. Again, it's a very simple premise with some more complex interactions and themes in between. Overall, I find it quite enjoyable. I do enjoy a more light-hearted theme, especially compared to the more recent darkness I've had with games like Redemption Reapers. Visually, keeping on with classic Vanillaware, there you go, style, you got a fantastical art style with many vibrant designs and colors. It's honestly peak moe and cuteness, I will definitely say. Audio-wise, you get some solid Japanese voice work with a catchy soundtrack suitable for the game's overall tone. Honestly speaking, it's pretty good stuff. Performance-wise, we are dealing with a PS2 era game, so no worries with performance. In the hours I've dropped into this, I haven't come across any performance issues or drops as of yet. What I will say, however, is the game's control scheme is a bit unique. I mean, this game is actually an RTS, a real-time strategy game, so you actually have a cursor that you use to select, drag, move, and etc. It does feel a bit clunky and strange at first, but the game does have a lot of extra systems and really put in a lot of extra care to get a smoother control layout this time around. There are a lot of different options and ways to select your single units, groups of units, or full groups, and so on. So in terms of control, don't worry too much in terms of trying to learn all this, because the game does spend a very good amount of its time at the beginning to make sure you understand these systems and you can use them with ease. Aside from this kind of controller shenaniganness, I'd say it's a very solid port, but of course your experiences may differ. So I'd like to try to make a respectable sized video this time, so here we go. GrimGrimoire is divided into chapters that can be selected at any time. You have your drama chapters that center on the story beats, and then you have your battle chapters. Battle chapters are where all the gameplay is, so that's what we're going to look at. The game itself is a real-time strategy game that has you build various portals based on 4 schools of magic in an attempt to destroy all of your opponent's portals. These schools of magic are basically the weapon triangle, with glamour beating up necromancy, beating up chaos, getting the jump on alchemy, and then around it goes. Each school of magic has various portals that you can make within its own category that allow for different units or structures to be summoned. So, having a variety of portals up allows you to have more diverse options within battle. To access these portals and units, you'll need crystals, which can be mined from crystal shards around the map. All schools of magic do have a basic gathering unit, such as a ghost or an elf, whose sole purpose is to mine, build, and sometimes, which I'll get to in a little bit, have a special ability. So you'll need a good amount of gatherers to get your resources, as well as to summon your battle units and structures. Battle units are quite variable, ranging from flying bow-wielding fairies to ghost knights, dragons, and golems. Each have their own advantages and disadvantages. For instance, fairies can fly, so they can be maneuvered between floors for kiting, as ghost knights can drop hammers and swords left and right. One important note is that a unit has a type, either substance or an astral. As it might be implied, substance units have form, thus can be impacted by just about everything, both bad, such as sleep and bad status effects, and good, like general healing. Astro units are basically invulnerable to substance-based attacks. However, they have very limited ways to heal and to gain buffs, so it's quite difficult to use them, and they can honestly get completely wrecked by anti-Astro units, so be mindful of the typing when you produce your units. Also, it's very important to note that like most RTS games, you'll need to level up your portals in order to access higher tier units. Each upgrade is 100 crystals, and it is very important to do this. Also, like most RTS games, you have a unit limit or a population cap that can impact the maximum number of units you can field at a time. Now, as you may have caught earlier regarding map construction, map relies on a vertical plane, not so much a horizontal. So think of the map as a tower covered in a fog of war. For this reason, non-flyers will need to use stairs to go between levels, as flyers just pass right on through. So again, do be mindful of your unit selection. Finally, as you reach the second loop in this Groundhog Day scenario, you'll unlock the Study. Basically, this is a way for you to specialize or upgrade units outside of battle. To do this, you'll need to get coins, which are awarded through map completion of special objectives, as well as the completion of challenge or trial stages that open up around the same time. These upgrades do impact the overall ability, and they enhance your units in really meaningful and potent ways, so it's very wise to invest within this. In summary, for an RTS console by a company that focused mainly on action platformers at the time, I would say that this is one of the more user-friendly experiences you'll have. For newcomers, the system is easy to understand, and the game ensures you are set with controls. For veterans, it might seem a little bit off-putting at first, especially with that cursor stuff I talked about in the previous section, but honestly, you'll get into the flow pretty quickly. Difficulty-wise, all maps have an easy, normal, and hard form. As usual, I went in on normal, as I do, and also mostly because the game forces you to go on normal mode for pretty much all the tutorials, with easy and hard being unlocked sometime after the first set of days. I think the first set of days you do. In all, I can't say I'm too impressed with the AI, at least on normal. Many of the maps generally use one or sometimes two types of magics. This means in many cases you should be keeping to whatever type best counters the enemies you're fighting. And in certain situations with certain maps, you're simply forced to use a specific magic type by the game itself, so you don't even really have the freedom of choice. Furthermore, the AI is set to use certain key units at certain frequencies, so I wouldn't expect so much in terms of the AI countering and adapting to your strategy. In fact, many maps can be very easily cheesed by certain unit combos or even just massing one specific unit. With that said, this in some ways does make the game a bit more approachable and easier to digest for newcomers, so that's a positive takeaway. However, if you are looking for something a bit more challenging with deeper layers of strategy, then there are loads of other great games that I've covered on the channel that can definitely scratch that itch. So there are a few strategies that can work really well in this game. First are sigils. Now, these are effectively the game's version of towers, but they do take up space on your unit cap or your population cap, so be mindful of overmassing them. Essentially, these towers can be built anywhere on the map, and if they have a line of sight, they can shoot between floors. I've actually had a few circumstances where I built these under the enemy portal, got a little bit of line of sight using Irie, and then watched as the tower took out the portal. So it's just nothing like a good tower rush on the enemy base. And then on the note of flying fairies and lying Aries, these things are absolutely broken. The fairies, I mean. They are the first type of unit that you get, and when you put them in mass, they murder absolutely everything. Like, seriously, it's like massing the ball of Marines in StarCraft. A ball of fairies can basically drop enemy portals without any issue, and their cheap cost makes them super easy to replace if one falls down. If for some reason at any point in time you're struggling in this game, just go deep in the fairies. You will likely win your battle 9 times out of 10. It's great to see more Vanillaware classics being brought back for another generation of gamers. I mean, we had 13 Sentinels being dropped on the Switch just last year, and now we got this one this year. For me personally, I would have actually preferred to see Odin's Sphere on the Switch, or maybe even Dragon's Crown. But as a strategy gamer, I am very appreciative of having the chance to play this classic once again. In all, if you're looking for an easy to pick up light RTS on the Switch, go for this. It's a good one. It's friendly to newcomers, and honestly speaking, it's worth a pickup, even if it's on sale, just to enjoy that beautiful classic Vanillaware aesthetic. For veterans, if you're a fan of Vanillaware, it's definitely a pickup. If you're looking to get a solid RTS experience from, Command & Conquer, StarCraft feels, there's definitely other games on the Switch and other games even on this channel I've listed that can scratch that itch for you. But again, this is a Vanillaware classic, so take it as it will. Anyway, if you've watched the video, I know this was short and sweet today, but I wanted to talk a bit about GrimGrimoire OnceMore, because this is a game that I know they dropped a demo for and everything like that, but I want to see more Vanillaware games come out, and I hope that if this does well, we'll get some of those other beautiful classics coming out as well. But let me know in the comments your thoughts on this game. If you've tried out the demo, how'd you feel, how'd you think, or what Vanillaware games do you want to see come out on the Switch? I mean, we have 13 Sentinels, we got this. What do you want to see next? Because I know what I want. Aside from that, as always, if you want to support the channel, you know what to do. You can hit that subscribe button and send your love that way. As always, for that, thank you for sending your love. And this is Show, and I will catch you in the next video. Cheers!